Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we are going to be explaining Java programming module 4 part 1. So this is where object-oriented programming comes. So we have many advantages of object-oriented programming. But what is an object? An object, as we have explained before, it's something in the real world. Like a car is an object. I am an object. A computer is an object. Anything that you can find in the real world, you can count as an object. All right? Even the ideas. Object, everything in the real life and everything that you can think of can be an object. All right? Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example here. So this man here is an object in the real world. Okay, he has a name, he has hair, he has eyes, he has nose, he has attributes. Okay, so we can classify this man as a human. So humans have a face, so this is a class. A class is a group of objects that have similar attributes and characteristics. Okay, so we can specify things from the real world and then we can represent them inside of the computer. So we want to use this because we want to make programs, so it makes it easier and faster for us to execute. Okay, so object-oriented programming, when we use classes and when we use objects, we are working faster and easier. It provides a clear structure for the programs. It makes it easier for us to deal with the programs that we want to deal with. Okay, it also helps us to keep our code dry. What does dry mean? Dry means that we don't repeat the code for several times. Okay? And it makes it possible for us to create full reusable applications with less code and shorter development. I told you, the usefulness of object-oriented programming is that we are making the code shorter. And I will give you an example here. I have a main class, okay? This is the main class. I have a main class here, and I have created another class which is called car. Okay? So, cars, we have talked about this. Cars can have a color, a model, and a height. I created a public class, all right, so we can use it inside of our classes, of outside classes. Each class can have attributes. When you write something down here, everything here will be included in each object of your class. Okay, so we have two or three types of okay, so we have three types of access modifiers. The first one is public. Public means that this attribute, this variable of the class, we can't use outside of the class unless we create an object of the class, of this class, this car class. We need to create an object first, like this car. This is the name of the class. My car, this is the name of the object that I want to make. New is a keyword used to create this object. Okay, and car here, this is the name of the class, and the class have 1, 2, 3, 4 attributes and one one method. Okay, so this equal sign, you see this equal sign, it will store all of the information that is stored inside of the car class. It will store all of that inside of my new object. Okay, so my new object, my car, will have this variable declared, will have this variable, this variable, this variable, and this method. Okay, so this is how we create objects. We declare the name of the class that we want to use. We call the object name. We can call it whatever we want. I can call it Toyota. Anything I want. I'm gonna call it my car. Okay, so this is an object. And then we are giving this object all of the attributes that are found in this class right here. So why do we want to use class here? Because we want to make the code shorter. You see this code? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. 5 lines only. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 lines here. If we write all of this code inside of here, the code will be bigger. Okay, let's copy that. Let's see. You see this? If I write all of this code together, it's gonna be harder for me to read. Okay, it's gonna be harder for me to read this and understand it. But if I separate each class from the other, and then I organize my code like this, it's gonna be really easy for me to do what I want. So let's explain this class. So this class is gonna declare, it's gonna create a car. This car is gonna have a public attribute called color, which is string type. String means something that stores it stores words. Okay, words. We can store inside of it the word red. You can see here we can store inside of it the word red. But if I store inside of it the number 2 only alone, it will not work, because this is an integer. This is an integer. As you can see inside of the error, incompatible types found int and required string. So this string will have the name of our car color. Okay, this string will store the name of our car color. This is the model of the car. This is the car height. Car h, I shortened the height. Instead of writing car height like this, I just typed car h. Okay, and then this method here is gonna print car. I called this method car information. If I wanted to access the car information, I can just call this method inside of this class, and then it will execute this code. Okay, so this code says car color, your car color is color. Where is color? It's here. Okay, so we are gonna print this sentence here, your car color is, and then when the user specifies what type of car color he has, then this method, if we call it, will store that, will display that information for us. Okay, let's your is okay. And this here, you see this here, this is a space. Okay, if I delete this, space here, you will see later that it will print all of this together, which doesn't look good. So we have, when you want to make a space inside of the system.out.println method, between two, if you write a string sentence like this, and you wanted to print another variable, you will have to make this space like this, so it doesn't look ugly. Okay, we'll see that later. So we have said that our car is gonna have a color, it's gonna have a model, it's gonna have car height, and it's gonna have car tires. Let's call the car tires, the tires large. Okay, let's call the car tires large. System. Let's print your car tires. I have to make this. Let's print your car tires are plus, and we're gonna make a space. Okay, we're gonna make a space, and then we're gonna print large, not large, car tire. Car tire. Okay, so car tire is large. You need to remember this. So we have an access modifier before. Access modifier means, access modifier يعني هذه الكلمة تحدد كيف نحن نقدر نستخدم هذا الفاريبل. public يعني عام. public ما نقدر نستخدم هذا الفاريبل إلا إذا سوينا object. سوينا object داخل الكلاس اللي نريد نستخدم فيه هذا الاوبجكت. لازم نسوي object اول شيء، بعدين نقدر نستخدم اي value او اي من الخصائص في هذا الكلاس اللي محدد عليها public. static يعني ثابت بالانجليزي، يعني المعنى الحرفي له ثابت، لكن هنا نستخدمها علشان نحدد انه هذا الاتريبيوت، طيب هذا الاتريبيوت يكون نقدر نستخدمه في اي كلاس ثاني بدون ما نسوي object، بدون ما نحتاج ما نحتاج نسوي هذا الاوبجكت. اوكي، مثل هذا اقدر اقول بس استخدم اسم الكلاس دوت موديل، هذا اللي مكتوب عليه static string model، الموديل مال السيارة اللي نريده، وبعدين اقدر احدد الموديل اللي اريده، مثلا كورولا. هذا static لازم تحفظون هذه. public قلنا انه نستخدمه عشان يوم نكون مستخدمين object. static نستخدمه قدام الاتريبيوت او الخصائص اللي نريد نخليهن يعني مفتوحة لكل كلاسات، بدون ما يسوي object، بدون ما يسوي شيء، بس يستخدم اسم الكلاس، يحدد اسم الكلاس هذا، بعدين يقدر يستخدم هذا الاتريبيوت او الفاريبل في الكلاس. زين، ومعنى برايفت يعني ما يصير نستخدمه خارج الكلاس ابدا. يعني لو رحت انا هنا في هذا الكلاس الثاني المين كلاس، وكنت اريد اغير هذا. كذا خربته. line 7. اوكي نسيت. اوكي قلنا اذا اريد استخدم هذا الاتريبيوت اللي عداله برايفت خارج الكلاس ما اقدر. رحنا هنا تحت كار دوت. اذا رحت كار دوت شوف اقدر استخدم موديل، لكن ما اقدر استخدم color لانه color public ما نقدر نستخدمه الا اذا سوينا object. طيب static نقدر نستخدمه حتى اذا ما سوينا object، واللي هو الموديل. لو رحنا هنا سوينا موديل car dot model يطلع لنا بمره dot car dot model بمره يطلع لنا بدون ما اسوي car object. زين لو حاولت اني ادخل على car tires يعني التواير، مثلا بغيت اغير حجم التواير، مثلا اقول انه هذا حجمهن صغير او كبير وكذا، ما اقدر. car tire ما اقدر اغيره، يساوي small، ما اقدر اغيره لانه هذا برايفت يعني خصوصي، ما يصير نستخدم هذا الشيء خارج الكلاس. انا الحين اريد اسوي لي سيارة، يعني اسوي سيارة داخل هذا الكلاس. So I want to create a new car in this class. Okay, how do I do that? We do that by creating a new object. So object creation is done by creating a class, declaring the name of the class. Okay, this is the name of the class. We have car class. We can make any number of classes we want, like this. If I wanted to make a new class, I can go to new Java class. This is another program. It's not like this program, but you can do the same thing. Okay, so you can create a Java class, another Java class in the same folder. Okay, so we have two classes, main class and then the other class that we have created. Okay, but I'm using this program because it's easier. We have said that we have created this class. It has attributes. It has one method which displays the car information. So it's gonna display the car color, it's gonna display the model, it's gonna display the car height, and then it's gonna display the car tires. Okay, so we are creating a new object. So we call the class name first, and then we name our object. What do we want to name this object? I want to name it my car. So this is my car, and as I told you, we are gonna store all of the information in this class here inside of this object. Okay, let's call it Toyota. Okay, Toyota, it's gonna be better. Okay, so my car is Toyota, and then I can store all of the information that is found in this class inside of here. So how do I do that? I say new. This is a keyword used to store all of the information inside of one class to the object that we want. So what is the class that I want to store in? Car. Okay, and then I close the statement. So this is how you create an object inside of Java. Let's go to the module 4 and read the module. A class is a template for objects, and an object is an instance of a class. When the individual objects are created, they inherit all the variables and methods from the class. As I told you here, when you create a class, it's gonna store all of the information that is found in this class, all of the variables, all of the methods that are found in this class. They are all gonna be stored here inside of this object, and we can use them inside of another class. Okay, so this is all of that. So when individual objects are created, they inherit يعني انه ياخذ نفس الكلاس الاصل، يعني ياخذ كل المعلومات من الكلاس الاصل. هذه الobjects. All the variables and methods from the class. Java classes and objects. Java is an object-oriented programming language. Everything in Java is accessed with classes and objects along with its attributes and methods. For example, in real life, a car is an object. The car has attributes such as weight, color, methods, weight and color, and the methods such as drive and brake. Okay, so we create a class, use the keyword class. myClass.java. Create a class named myClass with 3 variables x, y, and z. So we can create a class, we can give it 3 attributes, and then we can access these 3 attributes inside of our other classes. That's simple as that. Create an object. In Java, an object is created from a class. We have already created the class named myClass, so now we can use this to create objects. To create an object of myClass, specify the class name followed by the object name and use the keyword new to create the object. Create an object called myObject, myObj, object, obj, and print the value of x. Okay? So they want us to print the value of x. So now, let's say I wanted to create this car, Toyota car. So now everything that is found in this class, it's gonna be accessed by this keyword. Okay? So instead of going here and creating all the variables inside of this class, we can just use the variables and methods inside of this class. Okay, so let's do that. So first we are going to change the color of the car. So Toyota, like, let's say my car, Toyota. Okay, so this is the name of the object. And then we can say dot, so we can access the information inside of the object. So we have 3 variables. We have car height, like here, car height. Okay. We have car info, which is a method. This method will display the information about our car. Okay. And then there is color of the car, so we can change the color of our car. We have another attribute, which is model. We can access the model. Okay, so this doesn't show it. This didn't show all of the attributes that we wanted. So we have car height, car color, and we have car model. Also, we can change the car model to whatever we want. Corolla. Okay, we can call it Corolla. Alright, so we have changed this value. We have stored a new value inside of this. Okay. Let me delete this. So we have changed this value, we have assigned a value to this attribute. So we didn't give this value, this attribute, any value. This doesn't have anything stored inside of the class. So we have to specify that inside of this, inside of the object. So static attributes can be accessed by classes and objects by calling the class name or the object name. The public attributes we can only access by creating an object. The private attributes we cannot access without outside of the class. We cannot access them outside of the class. So we can't change this inside of this class. If we wanted to change it, we'll have to go inside of this class and change it ourselves. So let's change the color. Toyota dot color. Okay. So we're gonna change the color of the car, which is gonna be red. Okay. We close the sentence. Okay, so I have created a class. We have created an object from the class. We stored all of the information from the class inside of this object. So now we can change the information of this object without affecting the whole class. So if I created another object, car, let's say Nissan. Okay, Nissan. New car. Okay, so we have created two objects. One is Toyota and one is Nissan. Okay. So if I change the information inside of Toyota, this will not affect the information inside of Nissan. Okay. Let's try that. Let's try to assign a value, white or black. Model is Maxima. Car height is 1 meter, equals 1 meter. Okay, so we have specified, okay, we have specified information inside of the class. Okay, so if we change the information using the Toyota object, this will not affect other objects of the class, and we will see that. So we have created two objects, car, Toyota. We stored all of the information inside of this, inside of here, and then we created another object, which is Nissan. We stored all of the information inside of this, and then now I'm gonna change the information for Toyota only. Okay, so if I change the information inside of this class for Toyota, this will not affect the information that is found here for Nissan. Okay, so let's see. We changed the color to red. We changed the model to Corolla. Toyota dot car height, okay, equals equals 2 meters. Okay, and then now we can use this method. We can use this method to display the car information. Okay, so if I say Toyota dot car info, this will give me, this will execute this instruction, this method. But there is one catch. We have changed the information for Toyota only before we call this method. So we have changed for the information for color, for model, and car height. But we can't change the information for car tires because we are using private. This variable is private. These variables we can change outside of the class because they are public, which is accessed only by objects, static, which can be accessed by any class or any object. Okay? So this information will change for Corolla, for Toyota, and it will not change for Nissan because we haven't changed anything here for Nissan. Okay? So let's call this method. Let's call this method, which will print all of the information for our car. So let's run the program. Let's see. You see this? I told you when we go here, why do we want this right here? 2 quotes and a space, because we want to make a space right here. Okay, so inside of the parentheses, inside of the quote marks, if you make a space, it will work. It will give you the space that we want. But if we create a space here outside, it will not display the space. We have to make a new string and enter a space right here, like that, so we can have this space. Now here I didn't create that, and then now it displays your car color is red. This is one word right now. So if we wanted to separate that, we just make a space and then run the program again. Oh yeah, sorry. You see that error? I didn't do that. Okay, now it's gonna give me a space. You see that? Now it gives me a space. Okay, so the information for Corolla is your car color is red. Okay, I changed that to red, even though this here is black. Color is black, but I changed this inside of this class. I changed the information before I called this method. Okay, before I called this method, I changed the information inside of this class. So we have the model Corolla. The height is 2 meters. Your car tires are large. So large I can't change. You see? I can't change the information about the car tires because they are private. Only for this class. They can be changed inside of this class. Okay, so let's print the car info for Nissan and let's see how it works. So I changed the color here to red, but I called the object Toyota, so this will not affect the information for Nissan. Okay, so let's run the program. Now this will change. You see, your car color is black, your car model is Corolla, which I didn't change here. Okay, there is something wrong. Toyota. I don't know why this changed. Car, Nissan, new car. Where did I change that? Car model Maxima, 1 meter, public. Oh, you see that? This is an error on my side. You see, this is a static. This is a static value. So if you want, if I change a static value using an object, it will change it for all objects. But if I change a public value for an object, it will not change it for other objects. So if I do this, if I delete that, if I say car, okay, dot model equals Corolla, this will change the information for all objects, okay? But if I call this public, if I call this model public, and I go back Toyota and change it to Corolla and run the program now, this will give me Maxima. You see, your car color is black, your car model is Maxima, your car height is 1 meter, your car tires are large. So this information didn't change. Okay, so you keep in mind, if you make a static attribute for a class, this will change for all objects of the class. If you change the value for a static attribute in one object, it will change for all objects. But if you change a public attribute for one object, it will not change for other objects, and the private attributes do not change outside of the class. Create an object, we have said that, and we can change the information for any object that we want. Okay, so we can say system.out.println myObject.x. We can use that. We can do that. We can do that here. In the main class, we can delete all of this. All right. Delete all of that. We can say, I don't need to delete all of that. Let me just create one. Okay, so the object Toyota is here. So let's print out what's the color of Toyota, of the car. What's the color of the car? So if we don't change that, it will give us the color inside of the class. So let's say it's out system.out.println Toyota dot car color. Let's say the color. So this will print out the color. Black. You see, it's black here. But if I do this and change it inside of here, Toyota dot color equals red. Okay, this is red. And as you can see, if I change that before the sentence here, it will give me red. Okay, so that's how we do that. Multiple objects. We have said that we can create multiple objects by calling each object on its own. So Toyota dot color equals red. Okay, let's create a new class which is called let's create a new object, Nissan. Okay, Nissan. Don't forget to close the sentence. Okay, so we have created two objects, Nissan and Corolla, and we can print each we can print each object's color on its own. Nissan dot color. Okay, so we are gonna display the color of Nissan, and we are gonna display the color of Toyota. So Nissan, we didn't change the color for Nissan, so it's gonna take the information. So we have, I told you, we are calling the class, we are storing the information. Okay, we are storing the information from the car class inside of the object that we are creating. So anything that you can find in here, it will be always inside of your object, unless you are changing it yourself, like here. If it's public, it's gonna change for only the object that you specify. If it is static, it's gonna change for all objects. Okay, it's gonna change for all objects if you change it inside of main. If it's private, you can't access it or modify it. Okay, let's do that and print the color. Okay, so the first sentence prints the color of Toyota, which is red, and the color of Nissan, which is black. All right. I think we are good. You can also store the results in a variable, recommended as it is easier to read and maintain. I don't understand what this means. I do not understand what this means, unless they are saying like this. String equals Nissan dot color. Okay, let's say, let's create a new. Okay, so I can store the information from this object, from Nissan, inside of this class. Okay, as long as they are public. If I tried to store the information for car tires, they are private, so I can't access them. So if I wanted to store that changes the car tires, nothing. See, I can't, because it's private. Let's int. Let's create an int class, an int variable, private, public. Okay, public int car number. Car number equals 2242456. Okay, let's say 2456. So this is the car number, and we can store this number inside of this variable here. As you can see, let's say car Nissan equals no, Nissan dot car number, and we can store it here, and we can also display it like this. dd, we can print this out, and it will show us the number for the car. See that? That's the car number, which is here. All right. That is what they mean by this. You can also store the result in a variable, recommended as it is easier to read and maintain. And you can read all of this. You can read all of that. We don't need to explain it.